Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and my billion-dollar setup. Today we're going to dive into an epic showdown between practical effects and digital effects, otherwise known as CGI. Which one reigns supreme in the world of filmmaking? Get ready because we're about to compare and contrast these two techniques using examples from some of your favorite movies. All right? Let's get into it. First up, let's just break down what exactly we're going to be talking about. Practical effects that you see in films are those tangible, real physical effects that you see in all types of productions. Things like puppetry, animatronics, miniatures, and makeup. Now, digital effects, or CGI, otherwise known as computer-generated imagery, involves creating visuals with computer software. Now, some of these softwares you might have heard of, things like Cinema 4D, Maya, Blender, even Unreal Engine. Now, both have unique strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to explore those today. So first off, we're going to talk about some of the classic films that really showcase amazing practical effects. Remember the original Star Wars trilogy? I know it was a small production, but I'm sure you've heard of it here and there. Those epic space battles that we're all used to seeing, they were all created using practical miniatures of spaceships, all filmed in a warehouse. Another example would be Jurassic Park. I mean, who can forget the incredible puppetry and animatronics used for all the different dinosaurs that they see throughout the park? Now, an interesting thing about the first Jurassic Park film, this is a CGI effect that they did, but I still think it's quite cool. You know that guy that's taking a shit and he gets eaten? That shot when the T-Rex bites down and picks him up. Now, obviously that's a digital double, otherwise Steven Spielberg would have been sued out of existence. But did you know that that digital double is actually a T-1000 from Terminator 2, just with some suit trousers put on him? Well, I guess the T-Rex needs more iron in its diet, right? Oh, come on. All right. No, I'm sorry. No more. All right, it's over. I'm sorry. Now, the beauty of practical effects is their tangibility. They have real physical presence in the scenes and can interact with both the environment and the actors on set. And this is something that CGI to this day struggles to replicate. However, the downside is this can be incredibly expensive and incredibly time consuming, and it often requires meticulous planning and craftsmanship. Like an example would be in Star Wars: A New Hope. Those shots of Luke Skywalker going through the trenches of the Death Star, where it's the first person perspective, that was shot in a car park. They had a car drive alongside a giant miniature of this trench with a guy sitting in the back with a camera filming it. Like that's insane. They built a Death Star trench in their car park. I can barely build my own life, let alone build a Death Star in my driveway. Now, next up, we're going to jump into the modern era of CGI. Movies like Avatar or Avengers Endgame. These movies have pushed the boundaries of what's possible in computer graphics. I mean, James Cameron's Avatar used groundbreaking CGI and motion capture technology to create the lush and beautiful planet that we see in Avatar, called Pandora. While Endgame brought us those bigger-than-life superheroes and supervillains onto the big screen, large-scale fights that we hadn't really seen in cinema. I mean, look at this. These suits aren't even real. They're naked underneath. Okay, I don't know if they weren't naked, but I mean, I wish Paul Rudd was, man. Look at him. Slice of cake, maybe. What the f*** is wrong with me? Now, one of the great advantages of CGI is that it offers incredible flexibility when it comes to production. It allows filmmakers to create entire worlds and characters which would be impossible to achieve with just practical effects. However, as I'm sure you guys are all aware, it can feel less real if it's not executed perfectly. What am I doing with my hand? And as I'm sure you guys are all aware, when you've sat down to watch a movie you thought was really good when you were a kid, CGI tends to age poorly. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I watch this, photoreal isn't exactly what comes to mind. More like scarring, more like mentally scarring. So, how do CGI and practical effects stack up against each other? Now, practical effects, they bring an authenticity that really elevates the realism of a scene and makes it feel far more grounded. They flourish in close-up shots and interactions with actors, whereas CGI is perfect for creating those grand spectacles and impossible visuals. And it's also much more adaptable in post-production, allowing for tweaks and experiments elements that might be suggested by a producer or the director. And these things, without a lot of money, would just not be possible with practical effects. Now, in my opinion, one of the best examples of combining both digital and practical would be Mad Max Fury Road. Now, George Miller's team used practical stunts and explosions to really ground the action in each scene. And then in post-production, they used CGI to enhance those scenes to a level that would never be achieved purely practical. So the stunts could look even more crazy without the risk of killing anyone. Now, ultimately, the best path forward, whether it be practical or digital, ultimately comes down to what is required for the specific shot. Many filmmakers today are finding a hybrid approach, using both the practical and the CGI to bring their movies to life. I've got a hair in my eye, it is stabbing me, ow! And I gotta be honest, this is an opinion I share as well. Both practical and CGI have their place in filmmaking, but it's all about using the right tool for the right job, so that you can tell the most compelling story possible. And I mean, the reason we're seeing a lot of bad CGI in a lot of recent films is because this hybrid technique of practical and digital is being discarded. Everything is being done digital, and it's all being done last minute with 3 weeks to do it when realistically we need 10 weeks. And that's why you get like this. I mean, I can't tell, is that a baby? Is that a demon? I don't know, and I certainly ain't recovering from it anytime soon. So in conclusion, I think when it comes to practical and digital, you should try to do your effects digitally, and when you reach that wall, whether it be a budgetary issue or just simple physics or just reality, that's where CGI comes in to elevate that thing. You've got to have the practical to ground it, but you've got to have the digital to elevate it to another level that no one has ever seen before. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it, subscribing, turning on the bell as well so you guys are notified every time I post. I'm going to be posting a new video every Saturday from now on, so keep an eye out. There's lots of new content coming in, and if you guys have any ideas for content that you want to see, let me know in the comments. I really love talking to you guys. I love hearing your opinions, your ideas. I want this to be a back and forth. I really appreciate the support so far on this channel. Let's enjoy it while it lasts. Thanks so much for watching. In a bit, lads.